Hey, what day is it here now? May 9th,
Yeah.
o'clock in the morning. Sam's graduation. Sam is somewhere there. I haven't stand up. Call him, just stand up, look here.
What?
So stand up, look here with the video camera. Tell him.
I think it's too late for them to stand up. I think they're done standing up.
Ask him. What is this? Sami? Somewhere here is some Sami. ¿Viste, Nina?
I wonder how many people this is.
Can't see him yet. Maybe stand up.
Investment at Indiana University. I'm Jerry Menger, Indiana University Superintendent of Public Safety.
Retired Army soldier. It's a woman, yeah. I mean, I was honestly surprised too, especially amazing woman, Wendy. And yeah, I just talked to her. She asked me. I mean, we just had a quick snap on her husband. Give it a 5 if he gets arrested. Any one of us could have done that. They were smart. It's great while it lasts.
President Executive Vice President Applegate. The class of 2015 is assembled. We are
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome. As we begin this commencement ceremony, Gwyn Richards, the Dean of the Indiana University Jacobs School of Music, will lead us in singing the national anthem. Then, Rabbi Susan Silverberg, the Executive Director of the Elaine G. Simon Hillel Center, will offer the invocation. Please all stand.
Oh, sing and you sing, I'm the dawn's early light. What so comforting at the twilight's last gleaming, whose returns and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, where so gallantly streamed
come together today to celebrate and honor the achievements of our graduates. As we rejoice in this milestone, let us pause for a moment to give thanks to the source of all life. We are grateful for the ability to learn, to grow, and be inspired to achieve our potential. We are thankful to family, friends, and mentors whose inspiration, support, and guidance have brought us to this very special day. Let us thank Indiana University, its historical legacy, and the dedication of those professors whose teaching, encouragement, and leadership have helped us to reach this day. May we be inspired by the accomplishments, years of study, and life experience that have brought us to this day of celebration to become a part of the tradition of excellence of Indiana University. As we celebrate our achievement, let us remember to continue to learn from the leadership and guidance of every person and every experience that life brings us. As we build our futures, let us integrate into our lives the values of social responsibility, caring, and compassion. As we work towards success, help us to remember that the good in this world is done by good people, and each person is imbued with wisdom and dignity. As we strive for excellence and achievements, may the values, ethics, and ideals in this university inspire us to work toward the betterment of ourselves, our families, our community, and our world. As you glory in the honors of this day, let us all be inspired to make the most of our lives each and every day. And may our lives be filled with balance and compassion, love, caring, friendship, family, and community. And let each of us give thanks to that name that is sacred to each of us in our experience or tradition, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for enabling us to reach this special moment.
Please be seated. A round of applause for your families and your friends.
Thank you. Thank you. Too much. Too kind.
Please be seated. Now we are delighted today to be joined by Sage Steele. Alumna of Indiana University, host of television's NBA Countdown, and our commencement speaker. Ms. Steele is one of today's most versatile and accomplished sports television personalities. Since earning her Indiana University degree 20 years ago, she has steadily risen to become one of the most talented, knowledgeable, and respected television presenters working today. The success that she has achieved throughout her media career reflects her passion for reporting and broadcasting of the highest quality. She has thrived each time that she has accepted new challenges, such as being called upon to host several high-profile programs on ESPN and on ABC. Ms. Steele earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Sports Communication in 1995 from what is now IU Bloomington School of Public Health. Beside hosting NBA Countdown, she is also a central contributor to ESPN's on-site NBA tournament coverage. In addition, Ms. Steele has served as an anchor of ESPN's news and information program, Sports Center. She also hosted the Scripps National Spelling Bee for several years and has contributed to a variety of other ESPN programs. Ms. Steele has guest hosted ABC's The View and has been prominently featured in a range of media outlets including Rolling Stone, The Wall Street Journal, USA Today, and Sports Illustrated. She has worked at local television stations in South Bend, Indianapolis, Tampa, Washington, D.C., and Baltimore. Ms. Steele also frequently returns here to her alma mater. 2013, for example, she participated in IU's Diversity Leadership Conference, and last year she spoke as part of the IU Media School's lecture series. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our commencement speaker, Sage Steele.
That's kind of amazing. Thank you. Thank you, President McRobbie. Thank you for having me. Thank you to the Indiana University Board of Trustees. Thanks to you guys for this amazing welcome back. I have to tell you, and I have to stay on time too, and start talking in my ear, right? When I got this invitation, I read it 10 times and thought, this must be a mistake. Are they asking me to come back and do this? So to say that I'm humbled and honored, it's the understatement of the century. Thank you for having me, and thanks to IU and the trustees for, I guess, being a little bit non-traditional with your choice of commencement speaker. When's the last time a sportsaholic, a sports-obsessed woman known for talking way too fast on TV with uncontrollable curly afro-like hair has come to speak, do something this important? So thank you, trustees. And here's the problem. The problem is, now they've lost all control. Buckle up. There we go. Honestly, as I look out into this sea of faces, I truly see myself in you. Because I sat in these seats, when President McRobbie said 20 years ago, it was May 6th, 1995. 20 years and 3 days ago. You're far away, you can't see my gray hair. I was right there. And I remember feeling a range of emotions. Joy. I was so happy to have survived and gotten to this point academically, more on that in a moment. Pride. I was proud of myself for working so hard and earning this degree from this prestigious university. Excitement, I was excited to begin that adult phase of my life as of, I'll give you till tomorrow morning, not tonight, as of tomorrow morning. Grow up, you're adults now. But I was also really nervous for the future, not sure what was to come. I was sad. I was sad because I had to leave the friendly confines of IU, had to leave Bloomington, had to leave my friends. I couldn't dial Jiffy Treat at 2 in the morning and have ice cream delivered to McNutt or Varsity Villas back in the day. I mean, I was sad for that. I was sad that I couldn't walk to the Bluebird on Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. Anyone? Right. The best. So nervousness, sadness, joy, excitement, do you relate? Does anyone feel that range? I would say that it's okay, it's normal, and just know, and I'm proof, that anything is cliche, but it's true. Anything is possible. When I was there 20 years ago, look at this. Someone take a picture, please, for proof. I'm here. It's amazing. Anything is possible. So as you set out today to achieve your personal and your career dreams, the sky truly is the limit. But here's the question that I have for you and I want you to ask yourselves. How do you choose to live your life? And to get there, to achieve that dream? Are you gonna, as you try to climb your own personal mountain, how are you gonna get there? When you're down and out, what are you gonna do? When you're scared, what are you gonna do? If you haven't already thought about that, the time is right now, again, tomorrow morning, after you party tonight. Let's get back to dreams though, because my dream, some of you have heard this when I've come on campus to speak, I was 12 years old when I announced at the dinner table to my parents and my 2 brothers that I was going to be a sportscaster and I was going to work at ESPN. I was 12. Again, sportsaholic, pretty good athlete, but I knew that I wouldn't be good enough probably to play past high school, so the second best thing would be to talk about it for a living. And why not? Sky's the limit. But here's what everyone asks me, fairly. How is this shy, awkward, skinny, tomboy, big hair girl gonna go from that to being allegedly a confident woman on national TV talking about sports with a bunch of guys? So my parents and I came up with a plan to know as much as humanly possible about sports, especially football and basketball, obviously, and to know just as much, if not more, than the guys, because you guys like to test us and do those trivia. So you're nodding because you're one of those guys that tried to, right? You want to go? I'll win. So my dad and I would watch sports all the time, talk about sports all the time, and years later I decided to come here to Indiana University because of a new major in the then Hyper School, yes, School of Public Health now. Sports communications, broadcast emphasis, like right exactly what I needed, so no brainer. I had never even visited this campus when I enrolled. I just knew. I knew because the major, therefore everything else would work out and I was right. These were truly the best 5 years of my life. Sorry, Mom and Dad. I know you're watching at home, and I know that extra year killed you. I'm sorry. But I wouldn't trade anything for the world, because if it weren't for Indiana University, and you've heard me say this, I'll say it till I die, I would not have achieved my dreams professionally and personally. This place did it for me. However, this was also the first place where I faced my first major challenge. It was life-changing. I really struggled here academically. I was not a bad student. I went to class, I completed my assignments, I did my job, but it wasn't enough, because when it came test time, exams, finals, I froze. And I was so anxious that I was a mess. Not good, considering how much those tests weigh into your final grade. It actually got to the point that I was placed on academic probation here. And I only share this publicly one other time, so this is kind of a big deal. But the low point was during winter break, December of 1992, and I just completed my third straight semester with a grade point average below 2.0. The dean of the Hyper School actually called my house over Christmas break and said, when you get back on campus, come to my office and talk to me. Long 2 weeks, waiting to come back to Bloomington, and I walked into his office shaking like a leaf, and he told me that somehow I had slipped through the cracks, hadn't been caught. So if I didn't get my GPA up to a 3.0 that semester, then I would be kicked out of IU Bloomington and not be allowed to re-enroll on any of IU's 8 campuses. He also told me that I was an embarrassment to the university. Needless to say, I was devastated. Embarrassment, I was embarrassed as well. So I had to figure things out. And I realized that I needed help, but I'd been too embarrassed to ask about it. So I finally did, and several wonderful people in the Hyper School came. It was a matter of me putting my embarrassment aside and asking for the help, because the people were there. And I got over, eventually, with help, that anxiety about tests, extra credit. I faced the fear of the problem of learning to be a better test taker, and I found a way, and I scraped by, and I barely earned that degree 20 years and 3 days ago. But you know what? I have it, and it's framed, and it's in my home office as we speak, and it is the one piece of paper that I am so proud of, because I know that it took a heck of a lot to get it. But here's the thing, what if? What if I had crawled under that table because I was embarrassed? Others were embarrassed at my actions or lack thereof. What if others at IU hadn't seen that I was trying, I was just struggling? What if he hadn't said that to me? What if the dean hadn't called me an embarrassment? It hurt me, but it angered me, and maybe I needed him to say that to me. So I chose to fight for my dream. What is your dream? What are you willing to do to achieve it? And how will you choose to live the rest of your life? That was a turning point for me. Think about, like President McRobbie said, think about who helped you get to this point. The people here at IU, when I was down and out, once I asked, they were there to help. Make sure you take time to thank your friends, thank your family, thank the professors, thank the teachers. Maintain those relationships. They are crucial as your life continues. Countless others helped me here as well. Bill Armstrong, the late, great Bill Armstrong. Bill Armstrong Stadium right around the corner. That man changed my life as well. He was president of the IU Foundation at the time. I was a waitress at Colorado Steakhouse. I think Colorado Steakhouse is still over there, right? I waited tables. I was a darn good waitress. Good tips. And he came in for lunch a couple days a week and sort of struck up conversation. He wanted to know my career goals. Long story short, after months of conversation, he offered me a small financial grant and applied it to my final semester at IU. Also helped me land an internship in the athletic department. And he saw me working hard. So after I graduated and couldn't find a job, I called him for advice, and he picked up the phone. And he called a friend of his, Jim Freeman, who was the GM of a TV station in South Bend, Indiana. And it was a market that was way too big for a 22-year-old kid, inexperienced. But Mr. Freeman hired me because he trusted Mr. Armstrong. Mr. Armstrong trusted me because he saw my hard work. So what if? What if I had been too busy and hadn't taken the time to talk to this random elderly man despite being really busy? Turns out he wasn't so random. My parents have always taught me to take time to talk to people, no matter where you are. Sometimes I do it too much, but it's the right thing, because you never know. Make time. Mr. Armstrong was a wonderful man. He truly helped me, and he's helped thousands of other students who came through IU. Cherish those relationships, but he helped me achieve that dream of going to ESPN. So how do you choose to treat people? Even when you're really busy, or maybe when you don't think they can do anything for you, or you don't think others are paying attention. How will you choose to live the rest of your life? As you may have heard, you will be challenged along the way. In 1997, I got a phone call from Wish TV in Indianapolis, dream job. I was 24 at that time. Weekend morning sports anchor. I was covering the Colts and the Pacers and Indy 500 and IU and that Purdue, that school up in West Lafayette. I had to go there too. It's tough. Final Four was in Indianapolis that year. Reggie Miller's Indiana Pacers were battling Michael Jordan's Chicago Bulls. I mean, dream job for someone like me. I was there. I was in heaven. I was also in over my head. Again, do you sense a theme? And over my head a lot. But I figured that if I kept working hard, I could only get better. And I did, but not without a few people trying to bring me down. Another turning point. First, a coworker made it pretty clear that not only did he think women should not be covering sports, he also didn't like people with my skin color, and he made that very clear. He was my teammate in my sports department. That hurt. But later it went to another level, and my boss, we were discussing a potential raise, very minimal, when you're making 20 grand a year, very minimal. And he told me, quote, "You're not worth it. You're not worth a raise." I knew I was green, I knew I was young, I knew I had a long way to go. But I didn't think that I deserved to hear those words, especially from someone who was supposed to support his employees and bring them along and make him look good. But I knew that I needed to work for someone then who believed in me and my potential, even though that was my dream job, someone who believed that I was worth it. So I asked to be let out of my contract, left my favorite city in Indianapolis, quietly walked away, got a job with a boss who did believe in me. It was a tough decision. I was 25 years old, not a penny to my name. It was actually negative dollars in the red. But I just couldn't accept what he had said to me. So do you sit there and you take it? Or do you make a change and not complain and not feel sorry for yourself? So when someone tries to bring you down, and trust me, it will happen. How are you going to handle it? How will you choose to live the rest of your life? You also have to trust your gut and do what you believe is right, despite what others might tell you. Listen to yourself. No one knows you better than you. After leaving Indy, I then spent 3 years in Tampa, covering the Buccaneers, the Rays, the Lightning, Orlando Magic, several other Florida sports, before accepting a job in Washington, D.C., where I spent the next 6 years covering teams in D.C. and Baltimore for Comcast Sportsnet. During those years, my husband and I, who, by the way, I met here, Herman B. Wells Library, 22 years ago. Thank you very much. Proof that, what happens at the library doesn't necessarily stay at the library. Just kidding. Kind of. We were blessed enough. We have been blessed enough to have 3 awesome children who all say they're going to IU. Thank you. They don't know that any other schools exist. And that, by far, having 3 children is the proudest achievement of my life. But I was very, 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 very pregnant with number 2 when I got the call. ESPN finally called, offered me a job. It was surreal. But I knew deep down that I could not accept the job offer. I was 2 weeks away from giving birth to my second child. I knew I wanted at least one more, so how the heck was I going to be able to give the proper amount of attention to the worldwide leader in order to be the best ESPN employee ever and keep up with these people if I had 2 young babies at home and hopefully more. So despite warnings from my agent about the risks of turning down ESPN, the chance that I would never be called back again because you just don't turn down ESPN, and maybe more so despite knowing that this was my chance to realize the dream that I had set when I was 12 years old at the dinner table, I turned it down. I was raised to believe that family must come first, and if you keep your family as your #1 priority, no matter what, as you're climbing that ladder, that things will eventually fall into line. And 3 years later, it did fall into line. ESPN called me back, and I've been there ever since for the last 8 years. Not only did I accomplish that childhood dream to work at ESPN, I've done things that I never thought possible, like being here. And consider myself so blessed to have been able to do it. So, when your priorities and your values are put to test, what will you do? And then what happens when you actually make it? Are you going to forget about those who helped you along the way? Not just friends and family, but the mentors, the people here at IU, the people along the way at internships. You're going to forget about those people? Forget what it's like to struggle? Or are you going to keep people in your life who will hold you personally accountable? Very important. You need yourself and others to make sure that you keep your feet on the ground, personally and professionally. And then you have to make sure you pay it forward. And mentor those who someday want to be the next you. You never know. No matter where you are or what you end up doing, you've got to ask yourself that question again. Big picture. How will you choose to live the rest of your life? My dad is a 1970 graduate of the United States Military Academy at West Point. And when we were kids, he made us memorize this. It's a portion of the cadet prayer. We hated it, but now I get it. He's right. This is the part of the prayer that I want you to remember. Make us to choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong, and never to be content with a half-truth when the whole can be won. Shortly after I graduated from IU, during my long, windy, awesome road to get to right here in front of you today, I realized how important that prayer was. So whether you're a teacher or a student, a CEO or working in the mailroom, a master or an apprentice, the President of the United States or a private first class, when you really think about it, it's simple. Choose the harder right, not the easier wrong. You can apply it to every single thing you do every day of your life. Sometimes it's hard. Ask yourself that question. If you forget it, tweet me. I'll remind you. Doing the right thing might not come to fruition as quickly as you would like, but eventually it always does. And here's the thing, most importantly, you will know that you did it the right way. For your bosses, your fellow employees, your friends, your family, the next IU Bloomington grad who wants to follow in your footsteps, and most importantly, you chose the harder right for you. So, my fellow Indiana University graduates, commence! Go forward with your hopes, your dreams, your successes, and trust me, your failures. I only listed a couple. I've got pages and pages of failures, and I own them, and I'm better for it. How will you choose to live the rest of your life? Answer it honestly, and go be you. Congratulations, God bless you, and as my dear friend, the late, great ESPN sportscaster Stuart Scott said in his final public appearance, go have a great rest of your life. Thank you. I was going to come back to Indiana University without walking up here because I thought you'd see my candy stripes. I'm IU. I wouldn't be here without IU. This is the most important piece of clothing in my wardrobe. I love you all. Congratulations, go IU.
Well, we are delighted that Ms. Steele could travel here today to deliver such a wonderful commencement address and such a great fashion show as well. And I'd also like to take this opportunity to recognise her husband, Jonathan Bailey, who is also an IU alumnus. And as she indicated, they first met at the Wells Library 22 years ago. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Bailey too. Well, I think after an address like that, we really should acknowledge Ms. Steele in some additional way. So I'm going to ask her if she would like to return to the podium, please. And if I could ask Dean Mohammed Darabi of the School of Public Health to accompany you. And also, I'd like to ask Grand Marshal Michael Tiller, Platform Marshal Sarah Mostis to assist in a special presentation to Ms. Steele. And she doesn't know she's getting this.
Mr. President, the School of Public Health is very privileged to claim Ms. Steele as an alumna. Since she began her television career at WSBT TV in South Bend, Indiana, as a producer, reporter, we have watched her grow and succeed professionally over the following 2 decades. She has covered many sporting teams events that are cherished by Hoosiers, including the Indianapolis Colts, the Indiana Pacers, the Indianapolis 500, Brickyard 400 auto races, college and high school sports. In 2011, the School of Public Health recognized Ms. Steele with the Anita Aldridge Distinguished Alumni Award. Not only is Ms. Steele widely admired as one of the most accomplished journalists in the sport, she is also a dedicated volunteer in efforts to combat Alzheimer's disease. Her achievements make it clear that Sage Steele has represented our university with great distinction and is an ideal recipient of one of the most prestigious Indiana University Award and IU Distinguished Alumni Service Award.
Sage Steele, on behalf of Indiana University and the Indiana University Alumni Association, I am pleased and proud and delighted to present you with the Indiana University Distinguished Alumni Service Award. Congratulations. Now, another splendid tradition of our commencement ceremony is the induction of the graduating class into the Alumni Association of Indiana University. To induct our newest graduates, Randall L. Tobias, Chair of the Trustees of Indiana University, will represent the university. Jefferson Shreve, who is Chairman of the Indiana University Alumni Association, will represent the alumni, and Francisco Borrello, Jr., President of the Indiana University Student Foundation, will represent the class. Francisco is a senior from Chicago and he is graduating today with a degree in psychology. Now,
Trustee Tobias, inscribed upon this scroll are the names of every member of the graduating class of 2015. I request that each name be formally added to the list of alumni of Indiana University. We look forward to joining IU's extended family and ask the alumni to direct our service toward the university in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Barillo. Chairman Shreve, the trustees of Indiana University are proud to present these graduates for admission into the Indiana University Alumni Association. They join 630,000 living IU graduates. Those graduates reside in all 50 states and in more than 150 countries around the world. And they constitute the third largest university alumni body in the United States. We know that these graduates here today will continue to enhance the worldwide reputation of Indiana University and bring distinction and honor to our alma mater.
Trustee Tobias, we accept and welcome the members of the graduating class of 2015 into our alumni body of the 630,000 members strong. And to the class of 2015, we are confident that you will enrich our lives by your personal example and the high standards you bring to all that you do. IU depends upon you to maintain our tradition of excellence, and I challenge each of you to support your university and your alumni association with your time and talent over the decades that lie ahead of you. Thank you so much.
So please be seated. To the class of 2015, I offer congratulations on your induction into the Indiana University Alumni Association. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our student speaker. Myra Gonzalez Soto from Carmel, Indiana is graduating today with a Bachelor of Arts degree with honors in political science, psychology, and French from the College of Arts and Sciences. She recently received the 2015 Kate Evner Miller Outstanding Senior Award for her leadership both inside and outside of the classroom. As the founder and president of the Model United Nations at Indiana University, Bloomington, Ms. Soto implemented the re-establishment of this wonderful student-led initiative. She recently traveled to the national conference as part of the IU delegation, which was awarded a distinguished designation, placing it in the top 10% of all participants. Ms. Soto also founded Imminent Change, a student organization that raises awareness of the perils of unexploded landmines around the world. She has volunteered in Bloomington as a restorative justice facilitator, and in the great tradition of service and study abroad by Indiana University students, she has worked in Jodhpur, India, to help secure basic human rights for Hindu Pakistani refugees. So please welcome to the podium Ms. Gonzalez Soto.
Buenos Aires, Argentina. It's a hot summer night in 2005. The heat permeates through.
And members of the class of 2015. John Alfred Hanna was a colleague of Indiana University's legendary 11th president, Herman B. Wells. He helped transform Michigan State University into a nationally recognized research university, just as Wells did here at Indiana University. More than half a century ago, Hanna spoke about the benefits of higher education for individuals and our society. We who believe in the dignity of the human spirit, Hanna said, must preserve educational values for what they can do, both for the individual as an individual and as a citizen of a free nation. We must accept new opportunities to serve the American people, he said, to treat with respect and seriousness the demands they make upon us from time to time, and to resist with all our strengths any pressures threatening to impair the essential integrity of our universities. Today, the members of the Indiana University class of 2015 graduate from a university that has for nearly 200 years, continued to believe in the dignity of the human spirit, and one that has, throughout its history, gladly accepted new opportunities to serve the people of the state and the nation by responding to society's changing needs. Today, as you become graduates of one of America's greatest universities, there can be no question that, as John Alfred Hanna's words suggest, the education you have received has benefited each of you as individuals. One of the most immediate ways in which you will realize value from your degree will result from the fact that a quality education leads to quality employment. 70% of job openings that will occur over the next decade will require some form of post-secondary education. You will earn an average of $1 million more over the course of a lifetime than a person who holds only a high school degree. Higher education also contributes to advances that enhance the quality of life and contributes to the prosperity and economic development of local communities, states, and the nation. But there are also deeper and more profound values of higher education that may be less obvious. In addition to providing a quality education that teaches intellectual and practical skills, universities also instill high ethical values and practices among students. For many of you, the education that you have gained here has been a liberal education, one that has been both wide-ranging and selectively deep. Such an education, the depth and breadth of human knowledge, ranges from the classics in history and literature to the workings of modern government, from the rules of mathematics to the laws of physics, from world languages to international affairs. As you have grappled with complex, relevant problems in all of these areas, you have gained new insight into the human condition. You have come to recognize the interconnectedness of all knowledge, and you have learned to apply scientific, quantitative, logical, and ethical frameworks as you evaluate information and issues. Your education has enhanced your critical thinking and problem-solving skills. It has instilled in you the desire to ask and the capacity to seek answers to the deepest and most challenging questions about globalization, about prosperity and poverty, and fundamental questions about right and wrong. Public research universities like Indiana University also put great emphasis on a public mission that includes educating students for engaged, responsible citizenship and preparing them for public service. Political scientist Philip Converse went so far as to write, "The educated citizen is attentive, knowledgeable, and participatory, and sometimes the uneducated citizen is not. An educated citizenry also acts as a major force for social cohesion, as its members work to foster inclusiveness, to increase civic participation, and to create opportunities for upward mobility for all citizens." An educated citizenry, then, is the glue that holds together civilized society. Higher education also has an impact on how one uses one's private resources for philanthropy. College graduates are more likely to be involved in community and professional organizations that offer a diversity of opportunities for philanthropy. And public universities, like Indiana University, have an obligation to change in response to society's changing needs. IU has done so in recent years by creating new schools and new degree programs to serve the needs of the state and the nation, and to provide our students with the most relevant educational opportunities possible so that they are positioned for success in today's global marketplace. Today's ceremony is the first spring commencement for graduates of IU's new media school. And in the future, in the near future, our Bloomington School of Informatics and Computing hopes to award degrees in a new program in Intelligent Systems Engineering recently approved by our trustees. No matter what degree you have earned, you and your fellow graduates have benefited from your education in countless ways. And you are now the torchbearers, poised to respond to and help build our future. Your many achievements at Indiana University are testimony to the time you've invested and to all that you have learned. You are among 19,344 students who are graduating from Indiana University campuses this week. Your class IU Bloomington class of 2015 includes graduates from 89 of Indiana's 92 counties, from all 50 states in the District of Columbia, and from 80 different countries. Our international graduates reflect Indiana University's steadfast commitment to international engagement, and it confirms again IU as one of the world's leading international universities. Over a quarter of you have travelled around the world for your studies, and many of you have dedicated yourselves to civic engagement and public service at home and around the globe. Our oldest graduate this weekend is 64, and our youngest is 19.
Wow.
And out there among this weekend's graduates are 20 sets of twins. This extraordinarily accomplished class includes winners of some of the nation's most competitive and prestigious scholarships. Wells Scholars, a Mitchell Scholar, a Truman Scholar, and 3 Goldwater Scholars. Your class includes members of the Indiana University Ethics Bowl team, who earlier this year reached the Final 4 of the National Intercollegiate Competition and received an award for exemplifying the competition's core values of respect and of civility. Other members of the class of 2015 have helped fellow students make more informed financial decisions during and after college by serving as financial literacy mentors in IU's Money Smarts program, which was praised in the media just this week as one of the 5 genius ideas to help students manage their money. Still other members of your class have worked to increase awareness of immigrant rights, led campus efforts to prevent sexual assault and to encourage bystander intervention, and worked to improve healthcare and to further human rights in Panama, Honduras, Nicaragua, and in Ghana. Members of the class of 2015 have also helped to raise awareness and funds to support the victims of last month's devastating earthquake in Nepal. And you have raised record amounts, more than $3.2 million last fall alone, in support of the Raleigh Hospital for Children through your participation in IU's outstanding dance marathon, IU's largest philanthropic student event and one of the largest of its kind in the country. The class of 2015 also includes a student athlete who was one of 17 finalists for the Campbell Trophy, annually awarded to college football's top scholar athlete by the National Football Foundation, and he played in this very stadium. As he graduates today with a BS in Informatics with high distinction, he exemplifies the commitment to academic excellence embodied by our athletics program and by all of his fellow student athletes who graduated today. And we pledge to you, and we pledge to all of our alumni, that we will honor this great university by never pursuing athletic achievement at the expense of academic excellence. In 1991, Congressman Lee Hamilton, who represented Southern Indiana in the United States House of Representatives for 34 years, who developed a well-deserved reputation as a consensus builder, and who now serves on the faculty of IU School of Global and International Studies, spoke to graduates right here in Memorial Stadium. He urged graduates to apply their knowledge and experience in the application of logical and ethical frameworks to bring wisdom to human affairs. His advice to, in his words, worry less about what happens to ourselves and to the institutions we cherish, and more about how we can advance the common good, is as relevant today as it was nearly a quarter of a century ago. As graduates of Indiana University, we've been preparing for years to become the next generation, to discover, to understand, to pursue what is right and good, and to apply all that you have learned. Equipped with knowledge, armed with courage, and tempered by prudence, may you continue to strive to bring wisdom to human affairs, to toil for justice, and to advance the common good. May you carry on the traditions of excellence that have brought you to this moment, and may you work together to build a future ever brighter and more glorious than today. And now it is my pleasure to introduce John S. Applegate, Indiana University Executive Vice President for University Academic Affairs. Thank you.
We now come to the central moment of this ceremony, the conferral of degrees. Here, in the presence of trustees, faculty, family, and friends, the candidates will be presented for the conferral of their degrees. The names of all of the candidates are listed, school by school, in your program booklets. I invite your attention to the fact that some candidates have been awarded honors in general scholarship. Those students are wearing cream and crimson cords of distinction on their shoulders, and their honors are noted in your program booklets. In addition, some students have been members of the Hutton Honors College, and they have earned, with their degrees, the General Honors Notation. This notation signifies successful completion of a particularly challenging general education curriculum. Finally, some of our graduates are wearing cords that indicate the attainment of departmental or school honors or membership in honor societies. Indiana University holds all of its graduates in high esteem and takes an added measure of pride in those who have excelled academically. Therefore, I ask those who are graduating with distinction, high distinction, and highest distinction to please stand and remain standing. Who are graduating with the General Honors Notation to please stand. And I ask those students who have attained departmental or school honors or membership in honor societies to please stand. And please join me in congratulating all of these graduates. I would also like to take this opportunity to recognize our graduating students who are veterans or are currently serving in the armed forces. They are wearing red, white, and blue honor cords. Will those graduates please stand as well so that we can offer our deepest thanks and congratulations. The deans of the schools will now present the candidates for degrees. President McRobbie will formally confer degrees after all of the candidates have been introduced. First, I ask Larry D. Singel, Executive Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, to present candidates for degrees.
Will the candidates for the degree Associate of Arts in General Studies please stand and remain standing? Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts please stand and remain standing? Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of General Studies please stand and remain standing? Will the candidates for all Bachelor of Science degrees please stand and remain standing? Mr. President, these candidates, meeting all requirements for the degrees indicated, are recommended by the faculty for the conferral of these degrees. Congratulations. Please be seated.
I now ask Lee A. Feinstein, Founding Dean of the School of Global and International Studies, to present candidates for degrees.
Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts from the School of Global and International Studies please stand? Mr. President, these candidates meeting all requirements for the degree indicated are recommended by the faculty for the conferral of this degree. Congratulations.
I now ask James Shanahan, Founding Dean of the Media School, to present candidates for degrees.
Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts with majors in Communication and Culture and in Telecommunications please stand? Will the candidates for Bachelor of Arts in Journalism please stand? Mr. President, these candidates, meeting all requirements for the degree indicated, are recommended by the faculty for the conferral of these degrees. Congratulations. Please be seated.
Next, I ask Eileen F. Kessner, Dean of the Indiana University Kelley School of Business, to present candidates for degrees.
Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Business please stand? Mr. President, these candidates meeting all requirements for the degree indicated are recommended by the faculty for the conferral of the degree. Congratulations, Kellys. Please be seated.
I now ask Gerardo Gonzalez, Dean of the School of Education, to present candidates for degrees.
The candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Education, please stand. President, these candidates, meeting all requirements for the degree indicated, are recommended by the faculty for the conferral of this degree. Congratulations. Please be seated.
I now ask Robert B. Schnabel, Dean of the School of Informatics and Computing, to come forward to present degrees.
Innovation factors.
Will the candidates for the degrees Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Bachelor of Science in Informatics please stand? These candidates, meeting all requirements for the degrees indicated, are recommended by the faculty for the conferral of these degrees. Congratulations.
I now call on Gwyn Richards, Dean of the Indiana University Jacobs School of Music, to present candidates for degrees.
Will the candidates for the degrees Associate of Science in String Instrument Technology, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Music Education, and the candidates for all the Bachelor of Science degrees from the Jacobs School of Music please stand? These candidates meeting all the requirements for the degrees indicated are recommended by the faculty for the conferral of these degrees. Congratulations. Please be seated.
Next, I call on Michael Weaver, Interim Dean of the School of Nursing, to present candidates for degrees.
Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Nursing please stand? Mr. President, these candidates, meeting all requirements for the degree indicated, are recommended by the faculty for the conferral of the Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree. Congratulations. Please be seated.
Next, I call on Professor Clifford Brooks of the School of Optometry to present degree candidates.
Will the candidates for the Associate of Science degree in Optometric Technology and Opticianry and the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Optometry please stand? Mr. President, these candidates meet all requirements for the degrees indicated. Recommended by the faculty for the conferral of these degrees. Congratulations. Please be seated.
Next, I call on Dean John D. Graham of the School of Public and Environmental Affairs to present degree candidates.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degrees in Arts Management, Environmental Science, Healthcare Management and Policy, Public Affairs, and Public Health please stand? Mr. President, these candidates, meeting all requirements for the degrees indicated, are recommended by the faculty for the conferral of these degrees. Congratulations. And please be seated.
I now call on Mohammed Taradi, Dean of the School of Public Health, to present degree candidates.
Will the candidates for the Associate of Science in Safety Management and Bachelor of Science degrees in Applied Health Science, Athletic Training, Kinesiology, Public Health, and Recreation please stand? Mr. President, these candidates meeting all requirements for the degrees indicated are recommended by the faculty for conferral of these degrees. Congratulations. Please be seated.
Finally, I call on Dean Michael Patchner of the School of Social Work to present candidates for degrees.
Will the candidates for the degrees Bachelor of Science in Labor Studies and Bachelor of Social Work please stand? Mr. President, these candidates meeting all requirements for the degrees indicated are recommended by the faculty for the conferral of these degrees. Congratulations. Please be seated.
Now, will all candidates for all degrees please stand once again? Candidates, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of Indiana University, I am privileged and proud to confer upon each and every one of you the degrees recommended by the faculty with all attendant rights and responsibilities. The reputation of Indiana University will depend upon your continued commitment to the values, the knowledge and the skills that you have learned here. And I now invite you to show that you are truly graduates of Indiana University by moving the tassels on your caps to the left side. Congratulations again to each and every one of you on your splendid achievements, and please be seated.
I don't see this in the air.
And so we come to the close of this memorable occasion. We are all grateful to the Indiana University Herald Trumpeters, to Dean Richards for leading us in song, and to Professor Stephen Pratt and the members of the Indiana University Commencement Band for providing the music at today's ceremony. Musicians, would you please stand for our recognition. And finally, I would like to thank the members of the Commencement Committee who worked behind the scenes to plan today's ceremony. Please join me in thanking the Commencement team. Now, to acknowledge our newest graduates, I ask Dean Richards to lead us all in singing our alma mater, Hail to Old IU. And for the very small number of you who do not know the words, they are on the inside cover of your program booklets. After the alma mater, please be seated and remain seated until the platform party and faculty have all left the commencement area. Now please all stand for the alma mater.